Did you know the greatest communicators in the world are the best listeners? Now, we spoke yesterday on while you are willing to be caused, while you have the intention, and while you want to be duplicable, how do you create an impact on the other side? How do you influence the person on the other side so he not only understands you or is aligned with you, but also joins hands and forces with you? Now, there is a very, very simple formula, and it is one of the finest foundations of having excellent communication skills. And that is the difference between being interested and being interesting. So, what does an interesting person do? They talk about themselves, they go on and on, they can tell you stories. In fact, they create such an impact that people just keep listening to them. And you know what? That works, but for a little while. Now, imagine you had to spend time with somebody who always talks. And look, if you have earned your position, then it's fair, then it's fine. Because you know what? Sometimes people pay to come to listen. They want you to be interesting. Tell me something more interesting. Give me more knowledge. Humor me, and so on. But I am sure you have met people who go on and on and on talking non-stop. Now, those are people who want to be interesting. They feel important. They feel, oh, they are doing a very good job with communication skills if they are the one in control. And that is not how you create an effect on people. That is not how you create an impact. And that is not how you influence. If you really want to be an influencer with impact, you have to move yourself into being interested. Now, a person who wants to be interesting is thinking, what more can I say? He goes from one topic to another topic and so on non-stop. When you take the standpoint that I want to be interested, you're thinking, who is this person? What does he want? How can I help? How can my presence add value to him? How can he help me? How can we have a synergy so that we move forward ahead? How can I create a synergy with this person? An interested person is eager to seek more out of the conversation. In my career as a motivational speaker, I meet so many people. What is my business? To talk, to take the stage and be interesting. But you know what? People pay me for it. They've paid me for it. They want to listen. But if you meet me in person, I don't talk much. I listen. When I'm with a client, I listen. I want to know, who is this person? See, what are the chances that we will do business together, that we will work together? Just because we have met doesn't mean that we are going to work together. And this could well be our last meeting. I want to know, who is this person? How can I add value? How can he help me? How can I create a synergy? I want to understand more. I want more from this meeting. I don't want it to be an end all just because I didn't care to listen. And the best way to be interested is ask questions and then listen with attention. If you have seen any of my interviews with the Genius Code, my God, how can I extract information from the other person? How can I even know who is Sunil Grover? Who is Ayushman Khurrana? What does he want? How can I help him? How can he help me? Can I create a synergy? How will I arrive at that if I don't ask the questions, and if I do not care to listen, if I do not care to be on the other side? And let me tell you this, people get into trouble for talking too much, but nobody has ever gotten into trouble for listening. Being interesting can still get you in trouble, but being interested is always safe ground. You are the one who walks away more. There's this famous saying which says, you know what you're going to talk, but you don't know what the other person has to say. Why would you not want to know more? If the conversation goes in the right direction, led by you, you will get an answer that you have been seeking for a long time. Ask this to anybody who is always in this listen mode. Why is he listening? Not that he's passive. Ask me, Priya, you're a speaker, you're a talker, you get paid to talk. Then why are you forever listening? Why are you always quiet? Why are you attentive? Why do you make other people talk? Because habitually I extract gold nuggets from them every single time. And I'll tell you this, and maybe you felt it too. When I feel, where is this conversation going? Oh my God, how do I end this conversation? This whole being interested thing is not working for me anymore. And just when I stick it out, my God, that one sentence is what I have been looking for and I never thought of. Unfailingly, it has served me. Now, we learned in the earlier session that you must be cause, that you must have the intention, you must be duplicable. And on the other side, it was you must be effect, you must pay attention, and you must duplicate. Now, what does being interested mean? Being interested means that I am cause, I start the conversation and I pass it over to you. Now, I am effect. It is my intention to extract information from you. And now I'm going to be on the other side, effect, with full attention, willing to duplicate whatever it is that you say without judgment. Now that is power in communication, because people think, oh, I should be able to talk, voice modulation, articulation, body language, non-verbal, verbal, and the thing. That's great. We will get there. But if this foundation is non-existent, आप क्या कर लेंगे बात करके? What will you do with the body language when people are thinking, when will this end? Why does he talk so much? What does this have to do with me? When I don't get the importance in your company, what good are your communication skills for me? All right. So being interested is the core foundation of awesome, excellent communication skills. I have to tell you about this instance. Okay. So there was one time I went for a workshop. It was a huge gathering. I think about 1,000+ people in Mumbai. And the keynote speaker before me was Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. And I was speaking after him. I tell you, I fell sick for a week. It's like, how do you take stage after Mr. Bachchan? Okay. Now, for those of you who are non-Indians and who don't know Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, let me tell you, he is George Clooney, Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman rolled into 20 times in India. That's Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. And I just did not like the idea that my session is after his. Now imagine Mr. Amitabh Bachchan comes and talks. First of all, his voice, he is the epitome of communication. Uske baad, you call Priya Kumar. I mean, he's 6'5" or 6'2" or 6'3". I'm 5'2". Who are you? People might just be thinking, isko hatao, unko wapas bula lo, that what is this? And I said, oh my God, I can't match up. This is like really making a fool of yourself. So I had worked myself into panic mode. But then, you have to face your fears. And of course, I showed up. I'm not going to stay back, but that doesn't mean that there was this whole turmoil going on in my head. So what I did was I decided I'm not going to meet him. I'm not going to see him. I don't want to see any of his posters. Oh, life-size posters of his were everywhere, from the entrance to every door to every corner. When you're calling Mr. Bachchan, you want him omnipresent and scare the next speaker. So I quietly decided, let me go and sit in one corner backstage. I don't want to go anywhere. All right. Now I go backstage, and guess what? The entire backstage is empty except for one chair in the distance and one man really tall, in this impeccable posture, sitting there with his glasses and a paper. And guess who it was? The man I was trying to avoid, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. And when you go into his presence, you are now, in his presence. It's like the mafia in his presence. You come with your will, but you can't go back without his permission. So I'm like, oh my God. All right. And while I'm standing there, he looks up, he looks at me and he says, hello. Amitabh Bachchan says hello to you. Come on. So he played cause and I am dumbfounded effect. So I say, hello, sir. And now I start walking to him. You can't say hello, okay, bye. You can't do that with Mr. Bachchan. I say hello and I start to walk to him. The man stands up. Okay. He stretches out his hand. So he says, I am Amitabh Bachchan. I mean, he didn't need to introduce himself. Even God knows him. And I forgot my name. What is my name? It is written in one really, there was this really tiny face, and Priya Kumar, really tiny. You have to take a magnifying glass to read it. And I am like thinking about, what is my name? I'm Priya Kumar. Maybe I said it. And he tells me, come sit. Are you the speaker? I said, yes, I'm the speaker. The man is sitting, first of all, practicing, rehearsing with a piece of paper. And he tells me, you're so young. When did you start? And I said, no, sir, I started when I was 22. Where are you from? Chandigarh. What do your parents do? Where did you study? How did you become a motivational speaker? How do you prepare? My God, the man started to interview me. And I had thought, if I ever meet Mr. Bachchan, which is if he's still around after my talk, maybe I will talk to him. Maybe I will interview him. And then while we had just started talking, his manager came, and, he didn't look very happy with my presence. So he came and asked us, would you like to have coffee? So we ordered coffee, which was already, backstage, it was all ready. So he came and kept 2 cups of coffee. All right. So now Mr. Bachchan is interviewing me. What does your father do? What does your mother do? Where did you study? And so, oh, Chandigarh, and so on and so forth. And I tell you, we must have spoken for eternity. It seemed like forever. That man just kept drilling me. He was so interested. And if you have ever been in his company, his whole presence consumes you. He never said a word about his life. He just looked into my eyes and listened. Okay. And I was talking to him and sipping my coffee, and it was like my day, my life was made. So then his manager comes, and now, it's time for him to go wherever. So he tells him, Mr. Bachchan, he looks at his watch and he understands it's time to go. Then he makes a comment and he says, you didn't drink your coffee. And, Mr. Bachchan had the coffee cup in his hand. And he looked at him and said, no, I was listening to her. You know what? I had drunk the whole cup of coffee, talking also. I wanted to spit it all out and put it back in the cup. That man gave me so much respect. He didn't touch his coffee. He said, no, I was listening to her. That is the divinest example of being interested. You know what? I am the greatest, most ardent follower of the man who also happens to be an actor, which comes secondary. Do you think he is a master communicator? You would really call him, the Lord of great communication. Just like that? No. Yes, he has articulation. Yes, he has a great voice. Yes, he has the depth. He has the attributes. He has the traits of a great communicator. But at the foundation of it, he is a true master, because he knows he's the one who benefits from being interested. And I tell you, that was one lesson of a lifetime in communication. I went there to talk and inspire the world. And Mr. Bachchan, by teaching me real time what it means to be interested and what it does to another person, was another lesson real time. And that's why I've formulated this program. While I'm telling you theories and concepts, I'm also bringing you real people who will show you in their example that it works. And I urge you, whoever is in your space, find out who are they. Go talk to your father. Who is he? What does he want? Can you create a synergy? How can you help? How can he help you? Do you really know your father? What about your boss? What about your seniors? What about your colleagues? Who are they? What do they want? How can you help? How can you create a synergy? How can they help you back? Make the effort, be interested, talk to them. And then when somebody comes and says, your tea you haven't finished, say, no, I was listening to him. I was listening to you. That they say you never touched your cup of coffee. You know why? Because I am interested. And in this moment, through me being cause and allowing you to be, my intention to know you and I pay attention, that I am willing to duplicate anything that you say. For me, you are the most interesting person in this moment. Can you do that? Because if you can do that, you are building a force in people that he or she will be an ardent follower of who you are, and they are sold on anything that you do. That is a master communication skill. And now go ahead, and while you were prepared to be all interesting during this communication skill week, be interested and tell me how it goes. So I will see you again tomorrow.